Good evening and welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or one of the 50% of the people watching who have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, and most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you are currently listening to me on muted, simply click on that link below this video to join the show and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are only a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number 1, please do not swear. If you do, you will be ejected. And number 2, if you are ejected, please do not try to rejoin the show using sock accounts. You will be warmly welcome back on the next stream. In a moment, I'm going to transition you across to the action, as we do have debaters already in the Hangout debating away quite happily. And I would invite anybody who is in the live stream who has not shared the show, which you won't have done because this is a brand new feed, please share the show on social media, and I will also do the same. And with that, I will transition you to the action.
Shut up for a moment, we're going live soon.
The detectives gather the evidence.
We are now live, just so you know, we are now live.
The outcome of the trial is determined by the court.
Do we have any new guests that I've not introduced on the last live stream? I just might as well run through who we've got here. So we've got Arwin, Curved Water, Dave, Dawn Treader UK, Huey, Make4, Pure Anarchy, Tony, and Truth Seeker. Pleasure to have you all here.
Hello.
Hello.
Round 52, come on with it.
So what happened, Nathan? Why did you go off and restart it?
Well,
He got sick of us just talking about detectives and police officers when we should be talking about, like, gravity.
I think the fact that we're on the 50-second debate
Exposing is good.
And the flat earthers took the first 50. We need some stronger ballers in here. We got these weak ballers in here.
Stop. You haven't won.
Can you guys please let Nathan answer the question?
What's the question?
Well, why did he cut off the Hangout and restart?
Probably because we're just rambling and like going on about nothing. But
he was like trying to answer the question, and then everybody started talking over him immediately.
Oh.
So
I got sniped by Hank Hill. He immediately came in and said, "Well, I was just talking about the sun." It's like, no,
Truth Seeker.
having a conversation.
Did you join on a different account?
I only have one account, of course not.
Okay, then you did not get sniped by anybody. Why would you be such a lying, disgusting piece of crap that you would say that Hank Hill sniped you when you know genuinely didn't?
Talk like this? Can we not talk like this, please? I have a question. I would like to ask, because I'm like still on the fence. Like I've been heading towards flat Earth for a while, but NASA's got some pretty damn good like scientific points to cover it all. So I would like to ask flat earthers, not that I'm against you, I'm sort of with both people here. I would like to ask what's like, I don't know, your top 3 points to flat Earth, and like sort of if you can run through it a little bit, and then we'd let them talk, and then, you know, someone else can come in and sort of be like, well, actually this, or actually not that. You know, I want to have an actual debate here instead of just being like, you're Poe, you're this, and fucking cops and robbers, and I don't know, like, so top 3 flat Earth points, and let's talk about them.
No swearing.
Stationary, motionless.
What we were doing, we were discussing detectives and lawyers is in response to something Truth brought up himself. He brought it up, we were addressing it. That's all.
I brought up police officers, somebody else brought up lawyers. Yeah.
It's just sometimes it really does go off track, guys. Like, and then we're just calling names at each other, and you know, like,
just so you know, that's the background of why we were talking about law.
That's where
the Truth brought up, and we were addressing that. That's all.
Oh, I'm terrible with
I
swearing.
want to
Sorry.
charge your ass with something. Go ahead. Anyway, the number. How about driving upside down? That'd be one good thing that you know you ain't ever gonna do.
Define down, David. What is down?
You think you're gonna get? You think you're gonna get in a big truck? You're gonna ride, and all of a sudden you're gonna be upside
that is
down.
where the matter that is
What is
heavier
down?
goes
Define it.
towards.
All right.
Does
Well,
anybody?
personally, I think
If you drive from Chicago to Chile, you're not going to be driving upside down. I'm telling you.
Define down,
David.
All right, hold
Like
on. Does
you gotta
anybody?
be upside down. Bro.
See you ballers say we live on a hamster wheel. That's like we're on a hamster wheel. We go on, except we don't ride.
No,
we're
we
walking
don't.
around on the outside of it. Huh?
No, we
This
don't.
is like, because this is like a basic point of gravity, which is like the sphere pulls everything into its center. So
Yeah,
no matter where you
gravitational
are on
pull.
that sphere,
How
down
come
is
it doesn't
straight.
hold a hamster on the outside of a hamster wheel then?
okay, but I'm not defending Globe here. I'm just saying
Because
we
a
should know.
hamster wheel doesn't have the mass that the Earth does. It doesn't have the gravity that the Earth does.
Okay, fair enough. But we should know these points, guys.
You can call it a joke. It's a fact.
Everything David says is a joke. Does anybody want to take a serious shot at answering what make for his ass?
Yeah.
Any of you flat earthers want to do that?
Yeah, like because my top flat Earth point the other day was the sidereal day thing, where I was like, yeah, how the hell are we rotating more than 360 degrees? And NASA kind of does smash that out of the water. Like the only thing that they really can't explain is gravity, but I believe it's like more or less related to magnetism in a way.
No, it's not. Not even close.
It's density, but like it
No.
seems to
It's
have.
absolutely not even in the same category. It doesn't even come close to
Okay, are you
showing the
global
same
flat Earth?
type of consistent effects that go with magnetism and electricity.
I wasn't saying it was exactly the same, but
No,
it's
it's
like,
absolutely different. It's like night and day.
so you can explain gravity.
I can explain why it's not.
Okay.
Because that's not how you explain him. Really.
See,
I have a question related to that then. Like, we have poles, right? Like north and south, which are positive and negatives. Are they not?
That's what they say. There
I've
seems
never
to
seen
be
a
a
couple
magnetic
points
field
south.
in this world, and it has a north and a south pole.
Right, and your
Whenever
compass
we
is
measure
attracted
it.
to it, which means there's like roughly four types of metals which are attracted to it. So I would like to question the fact of like why do we rotate at the equator and why are we not locked at the polarities? Like the moon would be attracted to one of our polarities and it would eventually lock us in place. And I feel like if there were polarities such as that where it was the most attractive point,
Well, you're
you would
basing
only
the
have two
entire
sides of the
thing
sun that would
on
have planets coming
why
out
are
of
we
them.
spinning? We're not spinning. Earth is stationary.
Okay, so you're flat. You sound like you're globe for a sec there and you tripped me out.
Hey, I'm just working on
He
the
makes a lot of
models.
assertions.
Okay.
And there are
okay,
many
that's
models,
good.
many flat Earth models, and the globe model, and I find them all very interesting.
Me too.
I'm gonna have to interject there. Actually, there is no flat Earth model. A
Yes,
model
there
is
is.
able to
I
make.
know, I
hold
can-
on, a
Yeah, there's a
model-
flat Earth
Hey,
model.
according
There is
to-
a flat
let
Earth
me
model.
finish.
There's a
Let
flat
me
Earth model.
finish.
I have
am not
at
being
least
rude,
4
David. Stop.
models.
Okay, according to a model, has the ability to make predictions. Show me a flat Earth model, any one of them, that has the ability to make predictions. Then we can call it a model. Until then, it's an idea and a hypothesis.
Well, that's not that hard.
The map of the
Very
United
easy to
States
make
does
predictions.
exactly whatever you want to come up with. The map of the United States will cover it.
That's not a flat Earth model, David. Please stop it. The adults are
Yes,
speaking.
it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. All the coordinates of the United States have been mapped. Okay.
That's not a flat
The problem is we don't have a map of the rest of the
David.
world here.
Earth. Do you understand what flat Earth model means, David?
Yeah, we know it's flat over here, so I don't have to worry about the rest of it.
Okay.
But it's we know it's not, David. I live in Texas. There's nothing flat about the fucking state of Texas, dude.
He's trolling you, Pure. He's trolling you.
Sure, it's not flat over here. When you go to Oklahoma, you're riding uphill, right? When you go to Chicago, you're riding up to the top of the ball, huh?
No, David. No, that's stupid.
When you leave out of Dallas and you're headed down through Mexico, you're heading south going downhill around the ball, huh?
No, you don't go down.
When you get down to Chile, you're riding upside down. You got to shift them gears upside down, huh?
Elevation changes up and down. Elevation.
Yeah, I mean,
I know all the sea level.
Understand what down is? I've asked
The sea level on both sides is level, isn't it?
And make four go on. Just act like David.
Well, I mean,
one very
is just
big
stuff that-
element that proves that's not a ball is that when you go really high up, the curve, as you see
Doesn't
it,
happen.
well, is not there, even if you go high, it's still a straight line. So, and then you can imagine, okay, it goes down, so that means you go away from the Earth, but it always stays a straight line.
Not true.
Yes, it is.
See, I mean, how high can we go? Like, what? Well, the highest one was that
All
dude
of
that
them.
jumped out of the
As
thing.
far
like
as
the
they
edge of the
go.
ship.
There's balloon footage to 120,000 feet or so that shows curvature.
It's not, which to
Man,
me,
half
like,
the ball is in the on this side of the world. North and South America make up half the ball. You understand it? You'd be riding upside down if we went with the ball model. By the time you left Chicago, if you left Chicago and you went to Chile, you'd be riding upside down.
You have a problem with conceptualizing basic
No,
ideas.
I know. I've drove a million miles. I know.
No, he has a problem defining down.
Yeah,
No, I
and
don't have no
level. He thinks level and flat's the same.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that. We already got into this. This is where these globers are trying to turn this around, saying they're level earthers.
We you have a problem with flat.
Hold on.
Find down what you're saying is incoherent, David. It's incoherent.
Hey, hey, everybody, especially David. We have someone here that is asking serious questions. He is looking for serious answers. Can you please let Mike Orr ask his questions and let him get serious answers, please?
All right, well, you can tell him a lie here in a minute. Go ahead.
I'm good. I'm good here listening to the guy that wants to know about down. But like, I just feel like we should like if you could understand the idea of gravity, like not that I'm with it or against it, like.
Okay, explain gravity when you're at the top of a mountain and you're in a big truck, right? And you're coming out of the Rocky Mountains, okay, and you're going downhill, okay. Why is gravity taking you when you're going down the mountain? There's gravity keeping you, but there's no gravity Why is the gravity different on the curve of the Earth, man?
What did you just say, dude? You didn't even say anything like that. What was
understand that? You say there's a curve to the Earth, right? When you're coming out of the mountains and you're going downhill, how come you wouldn't keep going downhill around the ball?
Might want to get
well,
rid of
because
David.
you come to the bottom of the mountain.
Huh? Yeah, then you're still on the ball, so you should just keep on going then, huh?
Okay, so you have a problem with scale.
Man, I don't have a problem with scale. It's only 12,000 miles. You act like it's a long way.
I think
you act like it's 100,000 miles or something. It's only 12,000 miles and ain't nothing, man.
It's the lane of the mountain. It's the inclination of the mountain, the weight of the car. Like,
are you calling him a reptilian?
Half the ball's only 12,000 miles. Everybody in this chat puts on more than that on their car every year.
It's actually 30 million square feet, half of the globe.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
Look, like I get what he's throwing out there, though. Like he's kind of like, it's. I think some people come to these, like I get to these ideas where I'm like, fucking yeah, what about that 360-degree rotation? Where's the extra degree to make up for
no
that?
swearing. I don't want to have to boot you out for swearing.
Oh, dear, I'm sorry. And
he's completing elevation with curvature. That's what he's doing, whether he knows it or not.
Yeah, and the weight of the car, and the way that the mountain would be pushed, like causing the car to move.
This all gets back to why he doesn't understand down.
What's the grade? All you have to do is to figure out what the grade of the Earth is. Okay, when you're coming off of north going south, what is the grade that you're coming down? Huh?
David,
hey,
what's
like
the difference?
When you grade a road,
what's the difference? Come down from the top of the mountain and go south one way, go north the other way. You're going.
You got to be going. One of them you got to be going uphill, another one going downhill, huh?
I have expertise grading roads.
But you never go downhill or uphill on the ball, right?
You said that out loud.
I have expertise. I have expertise grading roads. I have expertise in grading roads. And I know the fact
you don't have expertise in grading roads. You don't have expertise in anything.
Yes, I do. And contractors that aren't using GPS scrapers, they'll just use a laser level that's going purely level.
Yep.
For how far? That's okay.
Yeah.
For something that they're intending to be level. I've been involved in racetracks. I've been involved in racetracks. They'll go off a straight laser.
For how far?
Miles. They have miles.
No, there's a reason why they do streets in increments in small
miles. For miles.
No one's going lasers for miles. No. Sit down.
Lasers won't do that.
So you wouldn't have to be going uphill in a ship, huh?
So much for your experience, True Seeker.
Oh, swear.
Anyway, just
downhill. It's a huge
I've seen 3D GPS do it, but I've also seen lasers do the same thing.
GPS gives you elevation.
Man, y'all need to just face it. You don't live on a spinning
the
ball.
same elevation, you maintain level.
I can understand everyone,
Yes,
but
Earth
like I
level,
think
mate.
the gravity thing, everything's it's always down. Like both models are down technically. Like if you're on a mountain, down's down. So
Yeah.
the force is down that's pulling you.
Right. So down is relative to the center of the Earth. That's what I've been getting.
Man.
Been wanting David to say for. Wow. That's why I said
That's
flying
not
down.
true, man.
It
That's
is.
like true, but like the model of it is the same. So we can't really argue the point because we're both down, and the Earth technically is so damn big that like your little area of 5K's radius around you is like pretty much flat or whatever. You know, I mean. Something like
Gravity
that.
picks and chooses. Why don't we just say it? It's a big lie that picks and chooses which lie it wants to cover. Okay.
Yeah.
So does my contractor's laser concern with the curve? Because they definitely work off of lasers and straight line ropes and everything. So
not at long distances.
So the
upwards. Actually, I'm gonna have to defend him on this because upwards of about a half mile, yes, a dual sloping laser will work just fine.
Okay.
Somebody that's been working with heavy equipment and dual sloping lasers for about 15 years, I'm gonna have to agree with him.
Well, I'm not saying a half a mile. I'm saying more like 3 miles.
I would thank you for that.
I haven't personally gone that far, but upwards of a half mile and maybe a little bit long is fine with dual sloping lasers working on roads.
That's a half inch. That's a half inch curve, right? Something like that, maybe.
That's well, they
I think we're okay with that. I can handle
dual
that.
sloping lasers work in degrees, so it would be about for a road, it would be either a half a degree or a full degree.
Yeah, but it's
a
not
degree of curve.
That's minimal.
That's handled.
That's ridiculously small of a negligible amount.
How the hell do you notice that when you're matching up your instruments anyway, though? Like, I'm like laser side. I've got a binoculars to him.
Machines that they'll ride in the pavement afterwards. They'll ride.
Yeah, you'll see it with the pavement. You can definitely see it because I've done synthetic turf fields. So you got 300 or 100 yards, 300 feet, with a 0.5% crown in the center or upwards. I've done one as drastic as in 1.5%.
Okay.
You know, 1.5
degrees. That for irrigation? Was that for irrigation?
I mean, that's your.
Fair enough.
Sorry about
that. Back on.
See, like the other thing is like it's actually really quite hard to tell. Like, I mean, you know exactly where you're at, and unless you have all the tools and you're looking at like, okay, my altitude is this, his altitude is that. Like we know we have this much difference, and then when we match up our lasers, we're getting like this 0.5% thing. Like you'd have to be pretty damn like technical about it. You couldn't just be out on your job like, oh, I got to match that laser over there. It's pretty much in line. All right, I got it on point. It's good. You're not really thinking about it as you go. But yeah, like, I mean, there'd be a few little things that you would have to do in between the, like, just matching up the lasers to make sure that you are actually on the same exact level.
How about just drive 12,000 miles and see if you're upside down? How about that? You want to drive 12,000 miles? Just get in the car and then drive 12,000 miles and tell me, hey, I'm driving upside down. And then you call me on the other side of the ball. And you say, hey, David, I'm riding upside down over here. Let me see.
I don't think he's understanding. He's not understanding how
that story
simple.
now, David.
He's not understanding how simple these lasers work and how simple this. They just literally attach a reflector onto the stadia rod and they can adjust it until it beeps. It'll tell them if it's high or if it's low. It'll start beeping quicker as it gets close to level, and it'll start beeping slower the farther you're off. It's as simple as that, and they can check it.
Level
they
is
can
just
check it for
flat, though, really, like, isn't it?
You're trying to make something very simple sound like, well, you know, it's actually there's more to it than just this, and no, there isn't. It's very simple.
If you used a mirror with that laser, would it go twice as far?
Okay, but the two laser points, do you have like altitudes on that? Do you have an altitude meter?
Yeah, a surveyor would have came out and staked a ground point and marked out what elevation is, so you can always set to that elevation.
Okay, cool. That's all I really wanted to know, was just if you guys knew the elevation.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm an expertise in this field. I have a lot of expertise in it.
What are you, globe or flat?
Flat.
I don't. Well, I'm going with a stationary, motionless world. I don't know if it's flat. I've never seen the whole world. I've never seen the whole world. I'm under the gut feeling that there's much more land and oceans out there.
Thank you.
So
ding ding knockout.
Okay, but like I'm not trying to.
He has a feeling.
I'm just like, so what's up with your 1% little movement in the thing that you were talking about, or whatever it is? I don't even know really what you're talking about. You said there was a 1% difference over a long distance with your lasers. Weren't you trying to state that there was curve with that? Is that what you were trying to prove?
No, the whole entire level system works under the premise that the laser is shooting 100% level after you measure it to level, with the spirit levels. It's under the premise that the laser never curves and never dips, so that contractors can always be sure that they're knowing what elevation they're at. And it's very common. It happens every day.
Well, yeah, the laser doesn't. You said the laser curves or dips?
No, laser never curves. That's what he tried to say.
Yeah,
but
the premise
why
and the whole entire
assumption,
the whole entire assumption and how these buildings are drawn, and they are confirmed with your GPS, and they're entirely These contractors don't enjoy using GPS because on cloudy days it doesn't work, and that's odd. And then on so yeah, hold on, I'm getting a phone call. I'll be right back.
You get airplanes going 600 miles an hour and they stay level for hours on end.
About that, David.
I mean, it doesn't work on a cloudy day. I've never heard that.
I'm having some trouble with that one.
With GPS, what can happen is not really a cloudy day, but if you got like thunderstorms that are coming in and it's real thick, heavy clouds, can get some disruption in the GPS. It doesn't work as well.
The kind of weather that can interfere with a satellite TV signal while radio signals are still transmitted just fine.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. All right, so basically, so contractors don't enjoy using the GPS. I mean, they do when it's working well. Of course, they'll ride with it, but a lot of guys just like going off the lasers and their known elevations of the plans and the staking locations. And surveyors will stake out the whole site, so there's multiple places you can shoot your laser. And they always go off the same principle that the laser is shooting entirely straight and level to what you set it at.
How far are they shooting these lasers, Truth?
All those are taken from sea level too.
I've all the projects where they have been upwards of 2 miles.
2 miles.
All those elevations are taken from sea level, right?
So they're shooting a laser over 2 miles and they're hitting a small reflector. Is that what you're saying?
I think he just left again, but yeah, that's what he was saying.
That's bullshit.
I mean,
the problem with lasers is that the beam diverges. It gets wider.
How far is sea level, man?
Yes,
how far is sea level level?
It is set off.
I don't think you're going to get a small target.
How far is sea level, man? Answer that.
The laser is shooting level.
How far is sea level
shooting level at the location of the level?
I want to know how far down the beach you go until it starts curving. How far? If you're on a beach and you're at sea level at one point and you go down to sea level at another point, where does that curve start at?
Right, I'm going to have to turn you all down to make my introduction. Regardless of if you're talking, you won't be heard. So we've been joined by Skyfly Bry. How you doing, Bry?
Hi, Nathan. Thank you for the invite, which was in your invitation. Hello to everyone on the panel and everyone watching.
Hello. Pleasure to
what a
have
great
you.
show. Have you made any money tonight, Nathan?
Say again?
Have you made any money?
I don't know. I've been paying attention. I've been doing other things. Maybe not. Don't know.
No, the flat earthers are the good guys. We don't want to make money off anything, right? Really, we
already made some money today. I've been trucking all day long. How far is sea level? Come on and answer a question, ballers.
0, man. I'm trying to be a baller.
How far is sea level? If you're at sea level in New York, how far south do you go across the American coastline there until you start curving on that ball, huh?
Mean sea level is mean sea level, David. All right, now, hey,
level.
Seeker.
Thank you. Ding, ding, knockout.
David, why do they call it sea level?
It don't do what you want, but I was going to suggest not addressing.
You already got knocked out right there. Well, you want to come on in here? You want some of it too?
David, I'm on your side, mate.
Go ahead.
Why do they call it sea level?
Because it's level, man.
Oh, well done. You're fucking right, mate. You're right. Well done.
Flat and level are the
No
same
swearing.
thing.
Bri, come on. You've been on 2 minutes.
Flat and
No
level
swearing.
are the same thing.
No,
Flat and level are the same thing. Up is down, and up is up, and down is down.
Isn't it just a point where the water meets the land on every damn continent? Because that's the way that it's been wishing over our globe or flat Earth, washing over our globe or flat Earth.
When does sea level become unlevel, man? If you're on a ball, it has to become unlevel somewhere.
No, level is not flat, David. Level is not flat.
Okay, ding, ding, we knocked you out again. Same thing.
True Seeker, you think two lasers 2 miles apart from each other can shoot level at each other from the
No, they'll use
same
multiple
elevation?
tripods. They'll use multiple
David,
tripods.
I mean True Seeker.
They'll use
can
multiple
two
tripods
lasers
based off the same elevation.
Okay, but two lasers, two of your instruments placed 2 miles apart from each other, can they point at each other and shoot level at each other?
Yeah, if they got a water level on top of them, they can.
They don't all need to if there's multiple ones to break up the intermittent barriers.
True
so, like,
Seeker.
You don't need to just have two. You could have 4 or 5. And I've seen
I'm
upwards of
asking
like
you,
10 to
I'm
15.
asking you what would happen with two of these instruments 2 miles apart from each other, shooting level at each other.
If they are all based off the same elevation, same level, they'll all be pointing exactly directly at each other.
Okay, and off this argument,
that. And that's
I'm also
and the laser isn't curving, so that's the
not
issue.
case. That's not
And
the
this
case.
slightly
Each
knockout again.
This is done simple surveying every single
each
day.
horizontal line will shoot above the other instrument.
Yep.
I would like to go back to Hank's question if you don't.
This is proven at even shorter distances than that.
Kurt, I'd like to go back to
maybe on a TV screen.
David,
right?
Polaris. How can you see Polaris if it's like 470 million light years away? Think about it.
Wow.
A torch shines a certain distance, doesn't it? A bright light.
470 million light years away.
Yeah, it's 470 million light years away, Polaris.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
I've got Stellarium, so I'm basing it on
that.
that. I don't know.
I'm only the stars.
Basing it on what I've been told.
Yeah.
We were talking about this last night, and we were well last night for me, but we were talking about the sun's core, and like how it's a very weird pressure thing and what's going on in there, and someone was talking about the Curie temperature of how it would lose its magnetism at the core or something like that, and then I started to get into something like how we have different isotopes of elements which could be like say more dense or more lighter, and actually we have liquids that are above all the gases up there, like super helium-4 someone was talking about. But anyway.
I've just been corrected. It's 433.8 million light years away.
There's like maybe there's unknown elements in those stars that we've never really discovered, and they're quite bright.
Sky, it's not. It's 433.8 light years, not million light years. You're wrong.
You added like.
Okay, I'm going to open up Stellarium. Sorry. 1 sec. I'll open up Stellarium. I can check it myself.
But at the same time, okay, so that's my defense for that. Like they have
433.8 light years, not million light years.
Yeah, you might be right. I'll just check it. 1 sec.
Yeah, I think I am.
I'll get back to you.
So anyway, they have crazy burning hot elements that we don't really totally understand yet, and they're radioactive, and they travel through light, through the vacuum, whatever. But that's my defense to that as a glober. Now I want to go back to being a flat earther, and I'm going to say, to your laser level thing, one point that you could add to that would be, you can see that like Chicago skyline over that 30 miles or whatever the hell it is, like, and they zoom in on that with a P900, and it does seem quite level and flat, the same sort of level. They try to say mirages and stuff, but I don't know. So like, there's so
Then
many
if it's flat and
points.
level, why can't you see this? Why can you not see the cars on the street?
Or see that much of Chicago all the time from the same vantage point. Why is it a rarity? Why is it a rarity? It's because it's a mirage.
Yeah, but it's always a mirage. It just depends on how far away the mirage starts, depending on the heat and the moist level.
It's always a mirage. Okay.
Yeah, you can't. What you see at distance, that horizon, is just the apparent horizon. Because there's always a part that's a mirage that conceals the actual.
All right, if you're riding in a car, you know if you're going up or down a hill, right? Why wouldn't you know you're going up and down on a ball? Come on, man,
stop breaking the subject apart every time, man.
It's best to ignore them. Best to ignore.
Go ahead. Why wouldn't you know you're riding uphill on a ball, huh?
Both models are
Anyway,
down.
people, I've just checked the distance to Polaris using Stellarium, and assuming that is correct, it's 431.32 light years away. Assuming that's correct.
Yeah, well, that's better.
And not million, like I said. I did say million. I'm sorry about that. I was mistaken.
You want to know why you can see it? Is that your question?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Well, for a start, you don't see the star itself. You're seeing the light coming from the star, is what you're seeing. It's a point of light. So you don't see the star. It's not like
you've seen a light from 438 million years ago. Yeah, we've heard the story.
So you're not seeing the object itself. You're seeing the light that comes from the object. The other thing to bear in mind is it's huge. That's a massive sun. It's hundreds of times bigger than our sun.
It's actually three stars. Polaris is apparently.
Is it?
Yeah, they I had the word written down. It's a funny word.
I thought it was one star. I think you might be confusing it with Alpha Centauri.
No.
Either way.
I find it.
Your question is, you're seeing photons coming from the object. You don't see the star.
But I'm not just talking about Polaris. I'm talking about the thousands of other stars in the sky that we see every night circling around. And the simple fact that if the Earth is really spinning around the sun on that mile journey, then there would be parallax in Polaris. Polaris would not always be the North Star.
How much parallax, Brian? How much parallax? Give me some numbers.
I've done experiments on roundabouts with lights and cameras. Obviously basing. I know it's small scale. Small scale. Listen to me. Small scale. But there is a difference. Now, if it's a long distance, obviously the difference is going to be less. But I just can't believe that it's that far away.
Okay, so you have an incredulity problem. That's not an argument. Thank you for playing.
But I have seen reports of our magnetic poles changing due to the core. Well, these are reports of the core changing, magnetic poles shifting, and then Polaris will eventually move away, and some other will start heading towards some other star or something like that.
Whoa!
Hey man, the sun goes east and west, and north and south is south. It doesn't matter about the magnetic north.
No, there's no magnetic pole shift involved.
There ain't nothing moving around over here.
The Earth's axis has a 26,000 year
Earth's not spinning
or so, and Polaris is going. It moves. There's no magnetic pole reversal. No pole reversal. The axis precesses. The direction that it's pointing at moves very gradually, tracing out a 360-degree circle in the sky over 26,000 years or so.
Yeah, they were saying that the poles were going to flip when the Mayan counter turned in 2012. That was the big lie. Remember that big lie? They told that big lie.
Irrelevant.
Mayan counter said the poles were going to flip.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, I remember that lie.
I did actually read the thing that said the magnetic north was shifting back towards Russia, and that would eventually
pole does move. Yes, it has nothing to do with Polaris or the axis of the Earth.
Well.
So
magnetic pole is not the geographic pole. Magnetic
because
pole,
it's the core,
not geographic pole.
Yeah,
Right.
Polaris is not at 90 degrees. It's at 87.37 degrees at the moment.
It's at what?
2030.
Bri, please get your figures straight.
I've got it.
So compasses just work sometimes, huh? It's just the magnetic north's always moving around.
No, the Polaris has nothing to do with the North Compass. That's the North Pole, which is not the north of the Earth. I
understand that.
Because the core. It's the core, right? That causes the magnetism, and that's why it's shifting around. And then outside shouldn't say stationary, but outside stays different to the core. So we have a geographical and an inner
the core of the Earth isn't what makes it point north, man. Whoever told you that?
That's the theory. This is the theory behind.
Nobody's ever heard no crazy lie like that.
What does, David? What does
if
make
it's
it
point north? It's got to be something north of here that's doing it.
What does point there?
I guess it would be a magnetic rock of some sort that's up there at the North Pole. I don't have no idea.
Hey, David, then why west of the Chilean desert does a compass not work?
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I want to go fly over there and take a compass with you and get it out and let's see it.
I've never been there, so I can't confirm it.
A compass all works everywhere on the Earth, man. That's the way I've always understood it.
No, actually, there are places on the Earth that a compass doesn't work. Since I've been around the world a couple times, actually experienced this myself.
Do you know why? Why they don't work?
A lot of parts of Canada are messed up.
What does it do? It just spins around in circles, huh?
It's west of the Chilean desert that's full of different minerals, and it actually disrupts compass, and it spins around.
I can understand
that. Canada, they call the runways by the true north, not compass north, as you do in the rest of the world, because they're changed so often.
Well, wouldn't you go off true north for runways because that's how the outside shell would work?
No, it doesn't work that way. In Canada, I don't know, it's a special area that the runways orientated a true north and not compass north. All over the world, they're orientated a compass north, and in the last 2 years, they've changed by 1 degree.
What? I mean...
I know that North of South America, anywhere you stand in North of South America, you get a compass, it's going to point north.
It's going to point according to the magnetic field lines.
It'll point straight north, man.
You will. Okay, David, you can stand outside with a compass and look at Polaris and tell me what you think. Okay? Why don't you try that sometime?
I'll do that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, David. Why does your longitudinal line or latitudinal line correspond with how many degrees above you?
Hey, man, all I know is that the United States is mapped out.
No. Don't derail. Answer the question.
He doesn't answer questions pure. He doesn't do that.
Line correspond with how high Polaris is above the horizon.
He doesn't answer questions.
I don't have the answer to that one for you. I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
He doesn't even know the question.
I don't know the answer.
It would have to be the diameter.
Ding, ding, ding! Knockout.
If it's a ball,
I just don't know the answer to that one particular thing.
So you don't answer any questions.
90 degrees at the North Pole and 0 degrees at both the equator from west to east. That's a true fact.
From west to east. Okay. Hey, Bri, would you like to tell me why it is that you're getting something about what is that degree value you were reading for Polaris and Stellarium?
Which one was that? It's 2. I've written it down. Was that the right one? 431.32.
I'm referring to its position in the sky.
Oh, it's going to change. It will change over time.
What is it? What is it now? What is it now, Brian?
So how do you figure that on a curved Earth, huh?
All right.
How do you figure that if you got that big drop everywhere y'all talking about? None of that mathematics works, does it?
Hey, Brian.
David, before you start blaring, questions that other people. How about actually answering mine?
He doesn't.
Let's answer your question. Sorry. I'll be.
How does that work on a ball, man?
Hey, Pure.
Actually, how does it work on a ball? Because your latitudinal line, Earth, corresponds with how many degrees above the horizon Polaris is. So when you
but those lines don't tell you how far the Earth's dropping, man. So if it was telling you how far the Earth was dropping, you could tell me how many feet it drops every 100 miles, and you can't do that. Okay.
Because we know it's
so those lines are done. They're done on a flat map, man. They're not done on a ball.
David, do you want to answer?
Go ahead.
No, he doesn't care about answers either.
Polaris is
Pure.
the horizon 1 degree per 69 miles.
Okay, 1 degree. How many feet of drop is that?
It's not about feet of drop, David. That's a silly question.
It's not a feet of drop. It's a drop of angle. So
can I make a suggestion?
If you start at the North Pole, if you start directly under the North Pole, Polaris is directly above you. 0.
Hey. Can I make a suggestion?
When you get to El Paso, Texas, that's 31 degrees. Is actually 31 degrees above the horizon. When you get to the equator, it's directly on the horizon.
It works on a flat map or a ball map, man.
No, it does not.
Pure, listen to Huey.
That's not true.
Pure, I have a suggestion for you. Ignore him. You're wasting your time. He doesn't come in here to discuss anything.
The horizon would also
This is not his first show. He's been here all along doing this on almost every show, man. He
doesn't answer questions, and when you answer his questions, he just ignores you.
I just answered your question. You wouldn't tell me how far it dropped and how the curve was involved in it.
I just told you 1 degree per 69 miles.
Let him go.
Okay, how many feet is that? How many feet is that every 69 miles?
We're not measuring it. We're measuring it in degrees.
Then it would be off. Your degrees would be off if you didn't take into account of the drop in the measurement of the feet of drop.
David,
okay,
David, if you
before I stop it here, the sun sets. Never eat. It rises in the east.
Let me finish this real quick.
Now,
let me finish
if you're on a ball, it's in the west. Now that's a straight line, okay? From a ball, when you're ball Earth, it's a straight line. You've got many different positions for the sun setting. If you think about it logically, Wolfie done this experiment. And he urged people to go out and film the sun setting using a straight line, a road, a reference on a map, on the Google map or whatever. And he ended up with many suns. And I pre-warned him about that. You're going to end up with many suns. It's not as easy as we think. It's not as easy as we think.
He ended up with many suns. Well, what the hell does that mean?
What are you talking about?
That we don't understand it. And we need a lot more knowledge to understand it.
You don't understand Wolfie's bid.
And say that I know this, I know that, you're wrong, I'm right. Let's just try and learn. Let's try and learn.
Brian,
I know when the story's being told, man.
You really do, Brian. You misunderstood something.
So David,
terrible.
let me get back to this real quick. Okay, so when you're making measurements like that, we measure them in degrees. We don't measure them in feet. I'm not going to sit here.
I didn't say you do, but that's how you'd have to take that into account for it to work.
No, you don't.
It's a troll
Okay, then it's flat. Then it works on a flat or a ball. Then, if you don't have to take it into account, it works on both. So you don't have any point there.
From incredulity, because you cannot measure in degrees.
On a flat map, you can measure the same thing, man. So what's your point?
No, you can't, David.
Get the hell out.
You actually
I would like to defend David. I'd like to defend David and say I would also personally like to know the exact formula. I know it's on there that 8 inches drop for the first.
That has nothing to do with this.
Hold on.
That has nothing to do with this.
Sure,
but that's what it sounded like.
Knockout.
We are talking about the measurement and degrees of Polaris.
I know.
Your latitudinal line.
I know.
This has nothing to do with 8 inches per square mile, which is
I know.
I live in North America, man. I understand what you're saying.
But we were talking about Polaris and where it is relative to the Earth, and then he started. We were all getting a bit confused, I think, and we started thinking you were talking about drop for a second.
I'm talking about the correlation of latitudinal line.
Okay, latitudinal lines
is 31 degrees latitude. Get the North Star Polaris and make the measurement above the horizon, it's 31 degrees. Now that corresponds every line of latitude anywhere you go.
Okay, so how many feet of drop is there from Florida to New York, or from New York to Florida? How much drop is there on all those latitudinal lines, man?
You're derailing because you can't keep up. I'm not going to allow you to do it.
No.
Just because you can't keep up, doesn't mean derail what I'm talking about.
I can keep up though. I'm with you. You're talking about Polaris in relation to the Earth, and when we look at it, you're saying it's something like something to do with latitude, is what you were saying.
Yes, your latitudinal line corresponds in the elevation
from sea level
of the North Pole, or of of the North Star, Polaris. That
all from sea level
corresponds. I'm not sure. I don't understand.
Sea level doesn't really matter.
Yeah, sea level. Yeah, it does. It's all done by sea level.
Sea level.
All longitudinal lines will be done by sea level, man.
Listen,
I live in the UK at 50 degrees latitude. Polaris is actually at 50 degrees latitude in the air.
Why though, because David took it there.
Yeah, Dave.
He just interjected that lie. Go ahead, Tony.
We came to this through the magnetic core, and like how I was talking about the Earth shifting, and Polaris would eventually move a little bit.
That's how flat Earth works. You can't talk about a specific topic. It's got to run around. That's why Truth Seeker was trying. That's why Truth Seeker made his little accusation against me. I'm against truth and trying to be against the the whole thing about all the facts, because I told somebody to stop gish galloping.
Yeah, I have a question. All your figures and facts come from sea level, man. So that's what we need to understand here.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
dude.
Yes,
you don't even have a model. What model do you use? Can you put up a?
Yes, I have a model. I sure do. I sure do. You don't want to get in this fight with me because I'll win right now.
So I hope you are all enjoying the stream so far. We have approximately 15 minutes left on this broadcast, so I'm going to run through my links and then I'm going to pass you back to the debate in just a moment. So if you are new to this channel, or you are amongst the 50% of people watching this stream that are not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a link to Super Chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, and if you would like to join the panel, there is a link in the info box below this video. With the page you are currently watching on mute, simply click on that link to join the show and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you've not done so already, please share the show, and once more, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
With their own sort of forces behind them, even though they are some of them kept in the Milky Way, some are actual other galaxies. Is the only answer you have for that distance that you can't see them move?
That you can't see them.
We're moving with them also.
See the stars move. We do see stars move.
Right. It's just really slow. That's
okay.
We're going into the age of Aquarius right now. Well,
right.
2150 we will be.
Okay, but I mean, like, with some of those stars are traveling light years, like in a year, like, and why
How do you know
within
that?
months? Well, we've had
there's a point to this.
The point behind this is the measurement. You would have to look at them and measure the distance and know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I mean, from what standpoint are you arguing all of this?
I'm arguing just
you're taking all of their information and saying they're wrong or you don't believe it.
No, this is just my personal question about the stars, because technically we are floating around the sun. So this and they think the sun is moving as well in the Milky Way, and the Milky Way is moving even faster as well. So it's like always going up in speed, as though our galaxy is the fastest out of that section. Mm-hmm. And then so Andromeda must be pretty damn quick as well. And apparently it's heading towards us. But is it really the only thing you can say is just it's so far away and it's such a great distance that it would take so long and you'll be dead by the time it happens? So, I mean, they do seem to be moving pretty fast, some of them, and they would travel light years, like, quite easily. Okay, like, you're traveling at, 600 million. What is it? 600 million kilometers or miles per hour. What's our Milky Way travel at?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
Dang, dang.
They don't need it for flat Earth.
Why?
But the thing is, David, I'm intellectually honest enough to say I actually don't know something.
I can tell you I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just looked it up, and it's 500,000 miles per hour, which isn't actually as much as I thought it was. But I mean, it's quite a great distance every hour that travels. We would have traveled quite a lot of
great relative to what?
Relative to the greater space out there is what I'm sort of.
Yeah, how vast it is. You don't seem to be grasping the scale you're talking about here.
Okay, so my other question now is
miles in an hour.
My other question now is, considering that the gravity would be greater in the center of the Milky Way, which is holding it all together, the stars on the outer edge of the Milky Way would technically have a slower pull and sort of be separating from some stars in the center, would they not? Because the center would have a tighter circle of rotation and turn.
I have a suggestion for you. Why don't, is there an astronomy club where you live?
Probably.
Can you even see stars from outer space, man? If you go into outer space, can you see the
David,
stars?
there's a real conversation happening.
Go ahead, answer that question. If you go, can the space station see the stars? Huh?
David, this is a real conversation.
What space station, David? Are you talking bollocks?
I love you, David.
Whoops. Sorry, that's twice.
There's no astronomers in here, as far as I know. So the question you're asking is best asked to people that do get involved in astronomy.
Anyway, people, I want to say good night to you all. It's nice talking to you all. Great people. Good conversation. And remember to subscribe to not Antonio. What's his name? Nathan Oakley. And click the bell notification. Click and like and share. And remember the super chat's open so you can send money.
Thank you,
man. Good night, everyone. Bye, everyone.
All right, Skyfly. See you, man.
Yeah, you're asking questions that they would be more able to answer than we could, because I'm not an astronomer.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm a truck driver, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question, though. I'll probably look it up tonight and just to look into it a little bit more.
But what I will say to you is that you don't seem to be grasping the scale. You're talking of these speeds being great, but they're not.
That's what I mean. I can understand the scale would be the only answer to why the speeds aren't noticeable. I can understand that.
I think that's the answer in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scale and the relative motion. I mean, we are moving with it, so we don't have anything to really.
We're on a little 25,000 mile ball, man. They got you stuck on a 25,000 mile ball. Okay, think about that. 25,000 miles. That ain't nothing, man. I could truck that in a year, man. In a month.
David, stop.
Hey, make four.
You understand? I could drive around the world. I could drive around the world in a month, man.
Talking over me. Stop it.
Hey, make four. Can you stick around after the hangout's over?
I do have to do a little bit of work, but
all right. Well, if you have any time, stick around after it's over. You don't have to go, and we can talk about a few things.
Without David. David's our secret weapon for converting people.
For real. Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
David hates flat Earth. He kills it. He kills it.
I'm not worried about you boys. I'm not worried about it one bit.
Keep up the good work.
I think you're on the ropes, David. I think you're on the ropes.
I'm not on the ropes at all. I'm not on the ropes. I never said I was an astronomer. Okay.
You're not even in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get back to my point, since David just derailed.
We've already. I already knocked you out twice a little bit ago, so I don't even want to hear it.
You haven't knocked anything out. All you've done is overtalk me every time that I start with somebody. You're just a rude, grumpy old man.
It's a debate.
That needs to just shut up.
Your mama's house, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, pure. Okay.
He's
don't take his bait.
I have another question.
Hard not to. I keep.
Let me finish my comment before you move on to another question, if I may.
Go ahead.
What also, you have the vast distances. You also have that everything is moving, so you have relative motion.
Right. So it's hard to judge, even harder.
Yes.
We're not moving, man.
It's like clockwork. It's amazing.
Well, you see, I can understand that relativity and everything moving around you and sort of keeping a barrier around you, more or less. I mean, we've got elements out there which are more or less sort of like supporting the outer edge of that barrier and possibly making it harder to notice any wind on the inside, really. And it does feel kind of pressurized, like we're in a pressurized, not moving system. It's, but yeah, that's sort of another subject. I wanted to ask, how do we measure distances to stars? Like, how do we do that? Does anyone know?
Before it gets answered, can I just say a quick hello to Steve Anthony? Pleased to have you here, Steve.
You got to understand, people used to not have TVs back then. They just sit around in the rooms all day dreaming crap up, okay?
Aren't we trying to get a hello from Steve?
They use parallax for some of them. Some stars you can use parallax, but parallax has a limit because it gets to the point where it's indetectable. So for
Can you see stars from outer space, man? Answer that question. How come y'all don't answer that question?
Hey,
I wish you were in outer space so you could tell us.
The guy is asking a few questions here. For the closer ones, they can use parallax, but parallax has a limit. It gets to the point where it's indetectable, so so it's no good. For the further stars, they use a method called standard candles. Now, I don't know what that means. You'll have to look it up, but that's how it's done.
Okay.
Just do a search for standard candles, and that will explain how the more distant stars are arranged.
I mean, I can understand.
They measured the light and how with lumens and candle power. You know how
what year were what year was this all decided, man? What year were they decided? What year was this decided, man? You got to go back and figure out what year this supposed fact was put into effect.
Nobody cares, David. Nobody cares.
Yeah, it's just like a book, man. You buy a book, you can see the value of a book by what year it is. Okay. Okay, it's just like grading something. You got to look and see what year this fact was put out. And what you do is y'all are talking about facts that could be 100, 200, 500 years old, and they don't mean nothing now.
Okay. So now, okay. So nobody cares. So flashlight manufacturers, they measure how bright the flashlight is in candles. It's the same thing with stars. They measure how much light is coming there, where they can judge how the strength of it and how far away it is, how weak the light is.
So there's some big dispersed. These are facts from 2018, huh?
And so you're saying like they'd have like a sensor, like a camera or something that could stare at that star and sort of tell me how much power is coming off it. Wouldn't some of that power be dispersed a little bit and make it even harder to tell? Like, I mean. And how?
Yeah, I'm not a professional at it.
Because like I know they can look through a prism and see the different colors of it and sort of like tell, it has these elements in it through the colors.
That's called spectroscopy.
Right.
In the story that the North Star Polaris came out when Jesus was born, isn't that the story that was told?
No.
What was the name of the woman that used to come and
Huh? Baby Jesus? Isn't that what they said?
Oh, was that the North Pole, was he?
No, Star of Bethlehem was
North Star.
Polaris, not Polaris.
Kurt,
supposedly a grouping of stars, in case you
do you remember the name of that woman that used to come in, the one that sold her house and bought the trailer, and she was going to travel the earth?
Tiffany.
Yeah, that's who he's like. The earth is flat. The earth is flat.
The earth is flat. Horizon rises to eye level.
David, are you Contreras' daddy?
Mm-hmm.
He said it.
You don't have any proofs. That's the whole problem. Y'all can talk about the stars. You always go to the stars.
All right, now here's one thing. You know, with lack of very minimal parallax and all that kind of stuff, that's in accordance with distant stars. Flat earthers want to turn around and say things like the stars are 3,000 miles away on a dome spinning around above us, yada, yada, yada. Things that don't work even remotely with simple geometry. And that's okay with them. They'll accept that and everything. And then, if you had a situation like that with the stars being very near, why would you not expect to see a fair amount of parallax as they're moving away?
Can an astro chimp see the stars from outer space, man?
I don't know. Take a look and tell us. Take a look and tell us.
Unless, of course, they were all at the same altitude and they were at the perfect, like no stars were behind anything.
When you get out of the Earth's atmosphere, can you see the stars?
Is that according to balloon footage from a guy that launched a balloon about a year or so ago, trying to catch a meteor shower.
Let's see the video.
Photographs of a meteor shower. Yeah, he had all kinds of stars in the image. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's one video. You based your whole life beliefs on one video a year ago from some guy that sent a balloon up, huh?
No, David, I'm answering your silly question.
Okay, so you don't know. You got some. You just figured it because you saw a video on YouTube.
David, there is a video showing this exact thing. Sure is. How many videos do we have?
Let's see one. Let's see from one from your. Let's see one from NASA. Let's see a spaceship go up from NASA and let's look at the stars. How come they don't have any high risk cameras out there?
Maybe. If it's NASA, you're gonna say fake. So I'm not showing you anything from NASA.
My idea of the whole NASA thing is that since Galileo and 500 years ago, maybe it was the sailors that screwed you up with the maps so you didn't know where you were sailing. And nowadays it's just like a military front and a bit of a technology front. And maybe we can't actually go there, but like maybe the model could be right. I don't know. Could be right. But I'm also like,
what do you mean a military front?
Oh, well, it's obviously a military front for like technology and hiding stuff and stashing away dollars and doing stuff with heaps of dollars that no one really knows about.
Exactly.
What?
What do you mean?
But
what do you mean? Because
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
About $1 trillion a year for the military, man. You don't think it's that?
Yeah, look how big they
need to read more books, man.
Look how many places
1,000 billion, man.
And
$1,000 billion is what the military gets every year from the United States. Buggers out here.
Those billions of dollars have been helping protect your damn country.
Overseas, bases
$1,000 billion.
Those military men and women are stationed at. Look at the pay that they have to get. Look at the upgrades
it's
each year.
For $1 trillion,
hold on.
The military to be able to keep David out of the country.
Talking shit about my brothers and sisters that are.
Nobody's talking about them. I'm just saying the amount of money it is. $1,000 billion.
Shut your mouth.
Okay.
Before you
divide that up between
open
50
your
states.
mouth.
Divide that up between 50 states. How much you paying?
Fighting and picking up arms.
Hey, I've been paying my whole life. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I pay my
actually know what you're talking about.
Can I make a request to get Pete Shea on the panel? Just
I'm
so
talking about. I've spent 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. I
have no problem with that, sir. I have no problem with that. We're talking about flat Earth here. If you want to get into how $1,000 billion, $1,000 billion, man. How much money is that? It's enough to pay a few people to come on this and debate flat Earth.
You're right.
It's a billion.
And look how large our military is.
Wait, are they fighting offensively or are they fighting defensively?
In the world, right here in the United States.
How come they didn't let you body land in Iraq, man? I thought George Bush went over there to liberate the Iraqis and give them freedom. And why didn't you send any land for sale over there? Huh?
That was the Reserve Bank.
I thought they were free over there now.
Stop derailing. You want to talk about the money?
You want to talk about semantics over here? I'm not going to talk semantically, okay?
Pure, it's not worth it, man. It's really not worth it.
How many bases are over there? How many nuclear subs does the United States Navy have? How many?
Dave needs his own intro music.
How many is it then, Pure? Can you answer the question?
How long have they been in war and had to replace Apache helicopters, Black Hawks, tanks?
Fiber cables.
Do you know the answer to that, Pure?
Yeah, and they drug Saddam Hussein out of a damn hole. You remember that? They filmed it live and hung him on
You're asking a very...
You don't remember when they hung Saddam Hussein?
It's a very specific question. How many nukes, tanks, helicopters? Can you answer the question?
Yeah, actually, I can.
Okay, go for it.
Just in the last 15 years, or 12 to 15 years, since we've been fighting there, the United States military has replaced over a dozen Black Hawk helicopters.
A dozen.
I know at least a dozen tanks.
That's very...
There's been two F-18s that were shot
That's
down.
not specific,
These
is
are
it?
$1,000 billion.
And then you say
Man.
over a dozen. That could be anything. That could be 100.
other thing,
that could be 1,000. It's over a dozen. So what is it?
At the same time, how many really black, dark, shady operations are going on where they've got to pay like some hacker dude?
Where they're paying ballers to argue with flat earthers. Yeah, how about that money? Where's that coming from?
You're the leader.
Big shout out to Scooby Doo for the super chat. Thanks a million.
Facts real quick. You have two of the largest military installations in Texas alone. Three of the biggest military installations in the world in the United States.
How many Black Hawk helicopters do they have?
Fort Hood and Fort Bliss. You have one in Hawaii. You have how many? You have how many in California? You have let's see, Paris Island, which is a Marine Corps installation. You have two Air Force installations there. You have
how many Black Hawk helicopters?
How many training facilities do you have? How many people do you have to actually?
I think it's over a dozen.
Per year. How much fuel? How
many dollars in pensions we got to pay every year? Probably half that's in pensions. So I don't even want to hear it.
How much just alone in like the heaviest isotope of hydrogen would they be spending? Do you is there someone that's developing isotopes of elements that the US government actually has to pay for so they can produce what they want? Like, it's not just fucking I didn't say that. It's not just friggin' Apache helicopters.
That's why they went into Afghanistan, man. That's where all the minerals are at. That's why they went over there and took that over.
Well, just the small things with the men and women. With that, you have training operations. You have people that are stationed overseas. So you have international flights that are going to Korea, that are going to Okinawa, that are going to Germany. Installations there. You have flights that are going over there. You have people coming and going out. You have training. You have a lot of people. Yes, the United States has the largest military budget.
Okay, well, how did we get to this? Or is it just because you're in the military? That's great, dude. We're talking about the flat. We're talking about the Earth right now.
He didn't bring it up, Steve. He didn't bring it up, Steve.
This was part of the money that people always talk about that NASA's wasting and it's going into the pockets of fucking some guy. Sorry, I didn't swear again. Oh my god. But it's just
don't keep swearing, man. Please, we need you in here.
I just yeah, it's not really wasted. I feel like not all of it. I mean, sure, maybe some dudes get a few million in their back pocket, whatever. Like maybe even billions. But like, there is a lot of tech, like Teflon, man. Just look at Teflon. And your eggs.
Man, you ain't supposed to eat that no damn Teflon. You ain't heard about that? You put a dang parakeet in there and cook some eggs with a deal that'll fall over dead.
Yeah.
You don't eat nothing on Teflon, man.
You trip me out.
You're crazy.
Oh, David.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. But how did we get onto military? Because of NASA and how much money?
That was just my idea.
They spent enough. They spent enough money to tell everybody that big lie. You live on a spinning ball, so it's working. Okay.
No. It's more of a friendly way to say, guys, look, we're going to space. We're doing something productive and happy, and we're all going to be happy. But
it's
really,
definitely military. What they're doing is they're trying to defend you from the
truth.
truth. They're defending you from the truth. That's what the military budget's all about.
But you don't like the truth is like we're hunting people still.
They're probably hiding land.
Ding ding, knock out.
No, they just want like every country to be under the reserve bank, so then they can screw the governments over and get printed money. Like, I don't know, more QE. That's all they want.
To be fair, they have to hide that land, or else we'll discover the third celestial pole.
Oh,
ding ding,
that's
knock out.
tripolar, man.
That is a ding
That's
ding,
a whole
knock out.
other thing, man. Wow.
We can't let that happen.
My
point is that
it must not happen.
There's just no room for
it. It's paramount.
It'll ruin everything. Screw up the entire sky. There's no room for it.
Triple nipple Pac-Man model confirmed.
Yeah.
So wait, Wait, I just want to get this straight. So Pure made the assertion that, he asked David for a specific number, right? And then I ask him, okay, so how many Blackhawks? And he goes, it's about over a dozen.
I looked at a report.
So that's not even specific.
I don't remember exactly how many.
All right. So you don't know. So you asked a question and you didn't know the answer. Thank you very much, Bill.
Yeah, there was more than a dozen.
Okay.
Man, we got criminals running the government over here. They're telling you live on a spinning ball, okay, people? They keep the lie going.
So the Earth is spinning over 1,000 miles an hour.
Maybe it's to confuse the enemy.
That could be whatever. You know, that could be the sky's the limit, man.
Yeah, but it's also an incorrect statement.
Well,
if you want to get pedantic now, let's do it. Let's do it.
Depending on perspective, which perspective?
The sun.
Yeah, tell me how perspective affects that, Steve.
Okay, well, if I'm looking at the sun and I see it move across, the distance that it moves across in the equator and the distance and how I see it move is different. All right.
No, that's not all right. That's actually a pretty poor attempt, Steve. You might want to get back to the globe side. You're trying to troll for FB here.
Oh no, I would love to know, Steve. What assertion did I make?
Steve wouldn't do that.
You made the assertion. Well, you didn't make an assertion. You asked a question and you were expecting a specific answer. When you didn't even have the specific answer yourself, you just said over 12. Was it over a dozen, which is 12?
I would argue that's not even true. That he was not looking for a specific number. That's
why did you ask how many then? You just asked how many.
I said, do you know how many?
That's a gotcha question straight away, isn't it?
Do you guys understand? It's $20 billion.
If he said 12, we'd have been fucked. He would have said, no, it's over 12. Sorry.
You don't think that $20 billion is being charged to each state? Okay, you got 50 states. $20 billion a year is going to the military to protect your state, just your state. If you look at it state by state, okay, not protecting the world. We're talking about the 50 states of America. We're paying $20 billion a year per state to protect the whole world.
North Dakota's getting ripped off because they don't have that many people.
Actually, tax dollars.
$20 billion, man. You don't think that the military needs to be? There needs to be a military base in each state.
Why are we arguing this on a flat Earth debate? Come on, guys, for real.
Because this would be the after, like, okay, what if it's flat? And then NASA's like, sorry, guys, it was flat. We were just doing this.
Shouldn't we figure it out first before we start?
You don't need NASA. You don't need NASA, man, to figure out the Earth's
already figured that out.
Yeah, NASA didn't do this to us.
That's true.
NASA's the Nazis, man.
Globe's been around much longer than NASA.
NASA's the Nazi.
Intelligent.
Here we go.
100 years ago, people were riding horses, man. 100 years ago, people were riding horses. Okay.
Now they're driving cars.
Yeah.
Now they're driving big trucks. That's right.
Horsepower.
Why
did they call it horsepower, man?
Actually, more than 100 years ago, Harley Davidson
horsepower because a car is supposed to be the width of two horses.
Man, whatever you want to say. 117 years ago, 120 years ago, there were no cars.
David,
okay.
100 years ago, Harley Davidson made their first motorcycle, and it was actually on
their
production.
bicycle. Yes, we know about the bicycle. Okay, the bicycle.
Davidson made a motorcycle, not a bicycle.
Troll.
No, they made a bicycle.
Their 100th anniversary was more than 5 years ago, dude.
Okay, 105 years ago. Okay, 125 years ago, nobody had a car. Okay.
Well,
they were teaching everybody they lived on a ball.
Get your story straight. Was it 100 years ago or was it 125 years ago? Come on,
125 years ago, they were teaching everybody they lived on a ball and they couldn't prove it.
Well, maybe, but Tesla probably had a UFO back then before cars were ever made.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. We've been joined by Mr. Grim V. Very pleased to have you here, Grim.
Hey Grim, how you doing, man?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Right.
Very pleased.
Hey, I'm over here, Grim. Over here.
All they want is us just to be bickering and confused like we are right now, really. Like, so while they have control.
I'm not confused.
Yeah, that's a good point, Corey. That's a really good point. I agree with that.
51
to... That's ridiculous, man, because what they want to do is make you silly by getting you into this flat Earth thing.
Ever.
We've already won this debate about 30 minutes ago.
Really? You're trying to argue what color Jesus' panties are before you even realize if he even exists or not.
Yeah, that's really relevant, Mr. Grimm.
I want to know how long his
What's
hair
up,
was.
Grim?
What's
What's up, Grim? Hey, hold on, I got something for David. David, you know, you keep saying we like you got a mouse in your pocket. Dude, I don't like dealing in absolutes, but you absolutely have never won a debate.
We won every debate. We won the first 50, man.
Ever, dude.
You don't even have a map of the world,
Don't even
and you're
say
arguing
we,
for a
'cause when-
ball that you don't have a map for.
You're not with the
That's a
flat
high
earthers,
five,
David.
You
You're
are
not
telling
with the
this
flat
story, and all I got to do is come back to where's your map at, okay?
That store, just put it out. Look,
Topographical maps are not a representation
Of the earth, yes, I know, because there's too much
Yeah,
water. There's too much invisible water we got to take into account for. I know.
This has been explained to him so many times, Pure. Don't waste your time. He doesn't.
David, you're a terrible flat earther.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Sure, I am.
You're terrible.
Steve's a better flat earther than you.
Even on my standards, you're terrible.
For you, man.
We got the military's best in here. You can't argue
At
me
least
about
I
it.
know both sides of the argument, so I can. I can argue.
Tell me,
yeah.
Tell me, since you know both sides, since you know both sides,
than yourself.
when do I start riding upside down when I leave Chicago?
You're a
Have you ever seen an upside down?
You know both sides of the argument. We gotta
make 4, yeah. You have to sub to David's channel and you have to see his video about that. It's amazing. It's got his dog like looking at him, and while he's saying "You're running upside down," his dog looks at him like, "What is going on?"
Come on,
His dog knows he's stupid.
I'd have a beer with David.
Dog is like, I am so surprised.
Seriously, it's a great video. I don't mean to be mean. It is actually a great video. Like, it's a great video. You should definitely watch it.
Hey, David, are you aware of how badly Rick wants?
Okay, while they're all trolling David about his videography, I'm going to run through a few of my links. In case you hadn't figured out, we are going to run for the full 2 hours, even though this is a Part B show, so I'll probably keep the Part A show for a Christmas or something, some day that I'm not broadcasting. But in either event, this show will run for approximately 45 more minutes, so if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and there are approximately 50% of you watching this video right now that aren't, so please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to get to 5,000 subscribers before Christmas. It has been a hell of a road. So yeah, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, as Scooby-Doo has already done, please hit that super chat which runs alongside the show while it is live, and most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, hit the link in the info box below this video. Just be sure to mute your watch page before you join. If you've not done so already, please share the show, as again I say, this is a Part B show, so a lot of you may have shared the show once. I'm very, very grateful for you doing it once more. If you could share this Part B show just for the last 45 minutes, so hit that share button as well. And one last time, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
When you plot a jet or a boat or anything, you don't take any curvature into effect on it.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that.
You were a navigator.
You've mentioned several times about driving out of Chicago. When do you start driving upside down? You haven't even driven out of the continental United States. Your argument is an argument from incredulity.
Man, you can't even tell me where the curve starts at, so I don't want to hear it. How many miles till we get to the first foot of curve? Huh?
Well, the thing that gets me there is the sun does go over the horizon, and you can't really look at it with a telescope still. It does go away.
Hey, listen to me, man. When the sun comes up,
that's a very good point, Make 4. Very good point.
Wake up in Texas and the sun's just coming up, right? You think that you don't think it's flat from here to California?
Ding, ding, ding.
No, actually, it's not.
Make 4 just knocked you out. Sorry.
Go back to your corner.
Actually, no,
David.
it's not, because
you're gonna standing 8 count.
Leaving out of Texas, leaving out of El Paso, you're about 3,200 feet above sea level, and you actually go down to California, which the beach,
the sea level, right?
Which the beach in Huntington Beach, California,
is sea level, below sea level.
Dave likes words that are under 2 syllables. Anything over 2 or 3 syllables, he's getting messed up.
Strawberry. Dave, man.
Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. I'm not worried about it.
Hey, we don't treat people like that in the hangout, Dave. If you come to Rick's, man, you'll be treated.
Yeah, yeah. In Rick's was not
dignity and respect.
I'm not worried about it. Y'all are losing this debate. Y'all lost the first 50. So what do you want to do about it?
Man, it's tied. We tied you up, man.
You could try to tell these
had
stories.
at least 3 knockouts, Dave, in this last 20 minutes.
No, you hadn't had any.
These guys can get a big, massive mute because huge shout out to Shield Scanner. Thank you for donating to my super chat. And a huge thank you to Shield Scanner for all the amazing videos he's been making. So big thank you to you.
It might actually be due to buoyancy and density. I don't know.
The Titanic starts riding upside down when it goes 12,000 miles. We know that story.
No reason.
I want what you're smoking, bro. That's what.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
No. But see, it's probably me that's actually knocked him out a couple of times today or tonight, and I feel bad for that because I'm actually still sort of like flat Earth myself, even though NASA has me covered. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, it kind of
How
feels.
does NASA have you covered? How does NASA have you covered, sir? How does NASA have you covered?
Yeah, exactly, David. Let me say first before you answer that. You don't need NASA, bro. There's ways you can figure out the Earth's round.
That's what he said. That's what he said, man. Let him say it.
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
Okay.
But what? So why do you think NASA? What are you happy with from NASA? Is what David's saying.
Man, I don't. There's a few things. We were just talking about parallax of stars, and you should see the constellations moving, and they knock that out with distances. Then you've got like the sidereal day, which is the rotation is apparently more than 360 degrees. That was one that was getting me recently, and they knock that out with it rotates more than 360 degrees. Like it's got an extra degree in there, and I'm sort of interested in what causes that. Like, is it the gravity that just purely causes that pull to get, like, is it getting faster? I'm interested to know, is that like 360, if it's gone more than 360 degrees, that means surely it's possible to get faster, maybe? I don't know.
Well, it's geometric, remember? We talked about that.
Yeah, but like that's just on paper. Like that, you're not thinking about the forces that are actually pulling those two planets together. Oh, so
this isn't a force issue. This is purely a geometric issue. The shape of the orbit, the distance traveled.
Okay. Well, when you bring the elliptical orbit into it, that does make a bit more sense.
I mean, you're talking about it rotates more than 360 degrees. Of course, if the rotation is continuous.
Right. Yeah, so it's more about time.
Right. 360 degrees applies to a certain period of time.
Yeah, it speeds up when it's wobbling, and you don't feel it though.
And relative to the axis itself, relative to
basically we're going 361 degrees every 24 hours now, roughly. And I'm wondering if in 100 years' time, will we be going 362 degrees in 24
hours? We're going 1,024 miles an hour, man. That's what we're going.
An increase in something. It's because it takes longer to make the rotation. To go beyond the three, it takes longer to do it. That's why it's a longer period of time. That's why it's 300.
It's always the same day, 24-hour day on a clock. And the rotation.
Yes. But solar noon is not 24 hours away each day. Solar noon has a drift to it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying you're telling me NASA's theory is saying that we have these sidereal days which like lose time or gain time.
No,
whatever.
No. It's not about losing or gaining time. It's about that period of time being when the Earth actually makes one 360-degree rotation. It takes a little bit longer than that for it to make a rotation where it's back oriented the same towards the sun.
Right, so it's
solar noon.
It's relevant to time.
Of course.
And I understand so when we get back to noon directly on that point, but it's set right. You're telling me we have differences in that noon. Like by whether it's milliseconds or whatever, there's differences in the point that we match noon every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
So,
and then drifts.
And you're telling me the general, because sidereal day is off. It's like a rare thing, like usually it's a solar day where we always match that point, which is
no. What are you talking about? Sidereal
we always
day
have to come back to noon at 12, otherwise our clocks are going to be off, right?
Sidereal day is the 360-degree rotation. It takes a certain amount of time.
That's not possible. That means a whole day loses 4 minutes in one day. That means you would have to stop rotation.
It's not a whole day. Our days are divided into 24 hours.
Hey, dude, stop bashing your table, man.
Our days are 24 hours. I'm not bashing my table.
It sounded like you were getting frustrated or something. I don't know.
I'm trying to make an elementary school point here. Yes, I am getting frustrated.
Just calm down.
But okay, we've come to the conclusion that you have to rotate 360.986 degrees every day just to be back at that midday point on time.
It's a geometric thing. It's not about forces. If you would do what I told you to do earlier, try to model this out, you'll understand why.
So you're telling me that everything in the whole universe rotates at the same speed?
It's a little bit of a parallax type issue. I told you it's because of the distance that you. Because if you have the Earth at position A, as it rotates 360 degrees, but you move it along in its orbit, about a degree further along in its orbit, guess what's not pointed directly at the sun anymore? The spot on Earth that the sun was directly above.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little bit longer for it to rotate a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the extra degree.
A few minutes more for the sun to be directly above that point on Earth.
No, because now you're relating it to time, because it's always
been related to time.
Then we have leap year.
Because we use the time on Earth as a reference to make it easier to understand things that are going on other planets and shit.
No, but he's trying to make it as if stuff is speeding up and slowing down with regard to rotation.
With regard to rotation, well, you're okay. Now I a little bit more understand what you're saying. You're telling me.
I don't think I understand this as well as Curve does, but is it the case that it's because units of time are human invention? We invented.
Well, the time it's just a measurement. It was just 24 hours, and we rotate.
But it's a measurement, but it's in reference to where we are right now, not like on some other planet.
The time of human
invention, really far away. That rotates once a year. Like
sundials work. Following the sun around the world, huh?
They're not using the sun in the sidereal.
Even I'm not quite getting it. Isn't it just because it's on an elliptical around the sun? So as it's moving, that's what you're saying. It's literally a geometric problem. So as
the ellipse causes the drift.
Yeah, it's because it's to throw it off slightly
in solar noon. Why it's not 24 hours, at the same time, the same amount of time, solar noon to solar noon, day after day after day after day after day. That drift is due to the ellipse.
Right.
But now spinning, the Earth's not spinning.
It's because it's spinning and moving.
Can I just say something?
The moon doesn't even spin. You guys act like the moon's spinning up there. Wouldn't the moon have to spin?
I didn't say the moon.
David, you were fighting the good fight.
Why do you think you're spinning? Why do you think you're spinning?
You're fighting the good fight.
Well, this point we're raising is a good reason.
Why would you think you're spinning if the moon's not spinning? Huh?
Thank you, David.
Well, listen.
Okay, David.
If the moon's not spinning, why would you think you're spinning?
Here you go, David. Answer the question in a flat Earth model. Why does the sun take over various times to go?
It goes slower and faster. The sun slows down and speeds up, man.
There you go.
Wow, what's the mechanism behind that?
Great answer, David. I'm proud of you.
Don't know the answer.
That was awesome. Ding, 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 knockout.
We're really on the list now.
But it would be the obvious answer. It would be
good job, David.
It would be all this crap that y'all are talking.
Good job, Dave. I'm proud of you.
Something special, David.
Well, I'm surprised, I'm surprised that you're saying this kind of stuff when you have an avatar like you do. It surprises me.
I think I'm flat. I am actually quite flat. Like I've been.
No, I'm not. No, just the avatar. But don't worry about it. You just carry on.
Anyway,
I'm a real flat earther. Okay, you ain't got to worry about that.
We know that. We can see that, David. We can see
Earth
that.
shifts off to the side with our orbit, and we're
Epitome
rotating
of
at the same
flat
time.
earther is David. We're good. We got that, David. Thank you.
Like, there's a force that's pulling our rotation back into the sun as we orbit the sun. Is there not?
I thought the oceans were keeping the moon from spinning. You remember that story they told? That told you? Remember that story?
Talk about chickens. Like
No.
chickens.
Talk about that while the moon's not spinning.
That story, I don't remember this. I don't remember the Earth being the cause of the moon phases and all the stuff that you remember. We must be in a Mandela effect.
That's it. That's what I'm telling you. Why does if the moon doesn't spin, why would the Earth be spinning if the moon's not spinning, man?
Maybe
don't tell me it does spin, but we just don't see it. I love that story.
This is basically
the moon does rotate, David. The moon does rotate, David.
See, the moon rotates, but you just never see it.
The sun.
That's the reason.
We see the rotation, but it's not full.
The moon's not full when the sun's
Earth's
out at the same
perspective, it's
time.
called
Either,
libration.
go ahead.
How do we always see the
David.
same side, David? When if the Earth's flat and it's moving around a disk, how do we always see the same side of the moon?
Because it's flat, man, just like the Earth.
So why doesn't it look elliptical when it moves away from you?
Go ahead. So I missed that. Go ahead.
So why does it always look round as it's moving away from us?
We see more than 50% of it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Crow did a lot of stuff on this. He thinks it lights itself up.
You
But I don't
really
I can't
really thought about that, have you? Visualize where it'd be like the moon was a flat disc on a flat.
Even though you think it. You believe him, don't you?
All right, but he's doing a good job of deflecting from what Make 4 was trying to talk about, though.
Yeah, you're doing well, David. You got good work. Come on, keep up, buddy.
You gotta let him. You gotta let him out a little. You know. You gotta give him.
I just want to know the answer.
I don't know if the smelling salts are working for him now. He might come back from that one.
That's y'all are cool. That's all right.
So do you figure out the upside down thing yet, David? Like driving down a mountain?
Yeah, because we know that NASA's fixing to we figured out all these last few hangouts that NASA's fixing to come out and tell us we live on a level Earth. Is what we're figuring out here.
That'd be pretty cool.
Not a level Earth.
I reckon they should come out and say it, and then just be like, "Sorry, guys, we were doing it for tech and military."
Yeah, let me level with you guys.
We're gonna
Stop showing off, Graham.
I'm gonna be level with you guys.
We're gonna be level with
some plugs here.
Yeah,
we're gonna roll.
All right, how many levels of atmosphere do we have?
7.
That's not the point of the question.
That's gold that we both said 7.
Not the point of the question. You know how you guys always go on and on about level being flat?
Yeah, when you get up there above the clouds are always level 2. You notice that?
Levels of atmosphere.
I get it. I get it. You're saying atmosphere.
There's one. See? There are different levels that are spherical.
It's scary up there.
You guys need to open your minds and understand what level means.
Uh-huh.
So make 4, how are you feeling about flat Earth right now? How's it going on the flat Earth debate?
Well, they killed my sidereal day thing because I was just wondering like how we fit that into 24 hours or whatever. I'm trying to debunk flat Earth because I have been brought up in schools that have taught me all
Go
this
ahead,
NASA
tell them
stuff.
some lies here.
Have you looked at equinox?
Well, I mean, have I looked at Parallax? Have I looked at a lot of stuff? Like, I can see a mountain range from my house that's like 100 k's, 50 miles away, and it's still just sitting there all good. Like, I don't know, it looks pretty flat to me, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's perspective. Maybe it's the atmosphere. Maybe it's goddamn driving upside down mountains. I don't know.
My favorite point. Have you ever considered that there's 2 celestial poles? That there's a north pole, there's a south celestial pole as well, and that we're kind of surrounded in a dome of stars, and that you can't really map that to a flat.
But you drive to it, right? In South America,
but ignore Dave. You understand what I'm saying, right? You can't.
South America will be the southern celestial pole, right?
Stars like into
would
a
Chile
map.
be the southern? Would Chile be the southern celestial pole?
No.
Why do you always bring up Chile, man?
I'm asking questions because 12,000 miles, 12,000 miles of the Earth's on this side of the ball, man.
Hey, David, I'm going to give you a big hint. The
double
celestial
Are you
pole.
hungry?
There's 12,000 miles on this side of the ball. Why don't you prove all your stuff on this side of the ball? Let's not go off into outer space.
Why? We proved it on the whole side.
No, we want to just prove all your facts over here on this side of the ball, okay?
The celestial pole is not on the Earth. There's a big clue there. Celestial pole. It's
can you see it from Chile?
David.
Can you see it from Chile? Can you see it from Chile?
Yes,
you can. See it? You can? So I drive right up to it, huh?
Yeah.
I drive right up to it.
Yeah.
Is that amazing? Is that amazing?
That'll be the knockout, man. After you do a time lapse of the southern stars, you'll have to go ding, ding, ding.
They're gonna build a highway just so everybody can see that, huh?
You can see it.
Celestial pole. Drive this. It'll be a tollway, though. We know how they do nowadays.
You can see it from anywhere in the southern hemisphere. David. What's the problem?
Who here thinks that the Earth is 70% water?
Oh,
yeah, but you don't have a map of the other. But you don't even have a correct map of the other 30%. You want to say you live on a ball? Go ahead.
70% water, dude.
And 30% land. So where's the map of the land at, huh? Where's your map of the land?
Covered with water.
You don't have no map.
It's a big difference. Yeah, we do.
Hold on.
70% of the surface is covered with water. It's 2% of the Earth.
30% land. 30%
of the Earth is water.
So let's talk about the 30% land.
Hold on.
But you're interrupting me in the middle of my fucking point, dude. Why?
There was a fantastic quote the other day.
You wouldn't get a word in. There's a lot more of us, so you might not want to start that ball of wax.
There's a fantastic quote from the other day.
Oh, man.
Jamie Brown informed us that the Earth is 75% water. We are 75% water. Therefore, we are 75% Earth.
Wow. That's deep.
Hey, I have on that Alex polarity thing that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
If there are actually polarities on spheres that people claim, I'm not on either side. But if there were polarities, would they not be? I've sort of asked this before. You guys might have heard it. The attraction to each other, and wouldn't all the planets just be connected by their polarities?
Sorry, I don't mean. Before you get an answer, though, sorry to interrupt you. Can I just introduce Lewis? We've been joined by Lewis Hackett. Pleased to have you here.
Hey, Lewis. Hey, Lewis. How you doing, man?
Hey there.
Yo.
Hey.
So make four, yeah. So I'm not saying it's a polarity. What I mean is that there's a point of rotation. So whether we're moving or the stars moving, however you want to visualize it, the stars are kind of moving around us, like there's a sphere around us, and they've all got stars on them. You imagine, and it's moving around us in a spherical motion. So you can't make that work. That observation we make all over the globe, you can't make that work on a flat Earth. It's impossible. It's like a geometric impossibility.
Well, the model for them is that there's a big ass dome thing over the top, and it is like shaped like a sphere, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, so do you know the idea of that?
No, it's not shaped like a sphere.
It's shaped like a.
But do you understand the ancient civilizations realized that the stars were moving in this kind of motion, right? But they believed that the sun went underneath the disk, right? That explained the sunsets and the moon and everything, and it went into the underworld and came back around, right? But obviously now what we know is that the sun never disappears because the Earth's a sphere and we can see it all the time. We can track all these stars and all this motion at all points of the Earth at all times. So there isn't any more room for saying that this more land, maybe this hidden land on the sphere somewhere. Yeah.
So how do you do this with a map you don't have? Right. That's what I don't understand. Why you believe this?
It's a basic observation that anyone can make with no NASA.
You don't even have a map. All you have is a map of the United States. You don't have a map of Africa.
Yes.
Make four.
David, I debunked this crap with you last time.
Oh, he said crap. Oh,
we do have topographical maps that work.
Make four. You said it's something very important.
All the time.
Go ahead.
The dome in the flat Earth is not a sphere. It's more of a hemisphere. If you picture Alex, speak so that you come on screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hi. It's me, Cat Earth.
Put a half sphere, the dome, over that little flat surface on that cat's back. Yeah, more like a snow globe. There's a big difference between a sphere and the hemisphere there with this dome thing. You cannot spin that dome and get the southern star rotation by putting stars all over that dome and spinning it. I'm sure you can visualize that.
Also, it's important to recognize that not all flat
Which continent are you talking about, man? Which continent are you talking about that you don't see this?
Who cares about the southern hemisphere,
But you sort of make sure.
If you guys don't even know where the continents are at, how do you come up with these stories?
Most people live on the northern hemisphere. No one cares. With all due respect, no one cares about the southern hemisphere. All right.
But another good point to make as well is that the star trails are circular as well, right? Now, if they were moving around above us and they were close, right, like the flat Earth says, then you wouldn't get a circular star trail because it would kind of be moving away from you, right, and coming back towards you over your head and moving away. So you wouldn't be getting circular star trails.
Yeah,
you can only see what stars are within your vision, man. That's all you can see.
There's a random one, but you see the point I'm making. That one's a hard one to
David,
visualize.
some of us live in the southern hemisphere and see different stars, see different constellations. That's
I drive down there and look at them too. We've already talked about this. Okay, that's
Also,
a stupid story.
No one ever said we could see stars not in our vision.
Okay, well that's good. That's why we drive to anywhere y'all are talking about. That's the whole point. There's nothing magical about where I can drive to. That's somewhere off in the distance.
You're right. There's nothing magical about it.
The doctor said that's it.
Exactly
He
right.
can't let you back in the ring tonight. You've taken too many blows to the head.
You leave out of Chicago.
David. Come on.
You leave out of Chicago and you're headed for Chile.
not even a
You're going to see
technical
the stars
knockout,
that you're going to
it's
see
just
on the way down. That's the way it is.
Yeah, but David, once you get to Chile, you can't see the same night sky that you could see in Chicago.
Exactly, man. Ding, ding, knockout.
Yeah, exactly. And not only do you not see the same stars, David, not only do you not see the same stars, but they're spinning in a different direction.
Look, what you have here is
do you really believe that?
If he was raised in Texas.
You really
You can
believe
do
that?
it. Just like you said, David, you can drive. There's nothing magical about it.
Exactly. So what's your point of it being a ball because you can drive there?
How are you going to have on a flat Earth?
Okay, hello. Super quick on this one. Here is the flat Earth, right? Here is this thing, which is the astral plate rotating overhead. Now, on the top of this astral plate is the southern set of stars, and on the bottom of this astral plate is the northern set of stars. So, I'm going to show you just how, with a what I'm going to call a double reflection, we can actually make the stars work on a flat Earth world. So, I need to get rid of my dome, and in place of my dome, I'm going to put in this mirror coming down here, and bring in this mirror up on top here. And so, I hope you can see that. And then now, we're going to cut to the GoPro, and here's what it looks like. So here's the GoPro sitting essentially on the equator, looking up and facing down, I guess, which is east. And so there you have it. There's the stars in the east. The northern ones on the left, they're rising, and the southern ones also, or on the right, are rising. Awesome. Now, clearly you'll see it's much smaller, but that's because my two mirrors aren't quite replicating the awesomeness of this dome. I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to zoom in on my reflection one, just so you can see it. So I guess here that is now. I'll do that little cheat. And then I'll pull back from that little cheat. And let's move the guy around. So now let's put GoPro essentially in the northern hemisphere, looking north. And bam, there it goes. There's the northern hemisphere stars moving counterclockwise.
But wait.
And if I just tilt up a little bit, there's Polaris in there, right in the middle. You can see all that going on. Very cool.
is a guy who was
now
looking
let's
at the
spin
problem of
GoPro
flat
all the
Earth,
way
and he's no
around,
longer
put
a
him
flat
way down in
earther.
the southern hemisphere there. Now there's GoPro in the southern hemisphere, looking up at this double reflection, and there's the stars from the southern hemisphere rotating clockwise.
I give him credit. You know, he tried to do something and
So
realised it doesn't work.
this simple double reflection from a dome, from a firmament, can actually show us how, if there's one thing spinning in the middle, spinning one way, and we see the reflection from the top out to the sides, the southern stars will work. Because this will work everywhere. It's a reflection, right? If you're in South America, South Africa, or Australia, you will see this reflection, and it works everywhere. You only need one set of stars. You don't need 3 sets of stars, whatever. One set of stars reflected off the dome, everyone will see it. Maybe I can show you again with the GoPro. So here is GoPro on the equator, looking eastish, so seeing the stars rising. Turn around
and they're revolving around a different celestial
see the stars setting, and then finally, once again, let's go
there
back
over
to
the
north.
equator. That's when you'll
see
first
our
start to
stars
notice the various
rotating.
celestial points. When you're exactly at the equator, if you look due north, you'll notice.
Camera zooming out.
If you look
That's
south,
what
you'll
I've got
notice the
going on
southern
right
celestial
there.
point.
So
And
it's
the
just
further
my
north
little
and south
flat
you
Earth.
move,
One mirror, two mirrors, double reflection. Actually makes southern stars work. Okay, thank you.
No, David can't drive that far. He's not allowed.
He could. That would require him to actually get a passport.
So can I ask Nathan a question? Because is that the video that the guy who gave it to you is no longer a flat earther? Who's the guy who shared that video? It was in a debate a few weeks ago.
Correct, Joshua.
Nathan's not going to help.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a video, but this guy no longer believes in flat Earth from looking into this subject, right?
Right, that's what he said.
So I just think it's a bit funny you play that video because the guy isn't a flat earther anymore.
Well, it doesn't work anyway. Even with the mirrors,
Yeah.
you can't make it work. It doesn't comport to
Nathan's
reality.
turning into a globe earther, man. He's helping us out. Thank you. Just messing with you, Nathan.
One step at a time.
I can answer that question, Make 4. If you're looking at stars moving west to east, you're looking at stars that are moving clockwise lower than the pole. Clockwise is going to have east to west motion, up and down motion, west to east, east to west, up, down, up.
The stars would shift really fast too as soon as it got to the end of the mirror. Seems like.
Yeah, that's true too. I didn't even think about that.
So if you're going sideways across the horizon, you wouldn't see the actual rotation. And it also doesn't explain how you can see that actual rotation from the 3 different continents.
Yep.
I mean, it's silly. And just to remind everyone, Nathan thought there might be a third celestial pole.
Past Antarctica.
That's not true. That's
Nathan, I really don't think he took trigonometry.
That's not true at all. Alex.
Nathan entertained the idea of it. He didn't.
Oh, that's
he didn't
true, yeah.
assert it to be true.
True.
So why doesn't the
don't
moon
attack the
rotate?
host? It's not a good idea.
It does.
Well,
yeah, it
why
does
does it always
rotate.
face us, but
You understand that all they have is imaginary stories. Every story they tell you is imaginary.
Well,
we just
David,
wrote that last thing. All 3 of us.
David,
wrote
at a
that last
certain
thing.
I read a lot of comic books,
David,
but
at
I
a
must not
certain
read that one
point,
up.
everything is imaginary at a certain point. So we have to start by making the fewest number of assumptions possible outside of the one that we exist. So should we go back to that one?
I exist
Do
in
you want to go
reality,
back to
man.
the
I don't
very
know
first
about
assumption, which is that we
No.
exist?
Wait, we exist?
Right, exactly. Do you want to go back to the most solipsistic point of view you can imagine? Because we can do that and make one
man, when
assumption
you ride
after
down
another
the road
until
and
we
you have a
decide where our disagreements are.
Do you know how to change a flat tire?
We should.
We should tell Make 4.
Yep, I do know how to change a flat tire.
Okay, well
We
then
should
you ought to know that
tell
you ought
if
to
the
know
moon
that
did
you're not
not
riding around on a
rotate,
ball then. Okay.
then we would see all.
Dude, if you know how to change a
Those
tire,
things
that
are
means you're not
totally
on a
related.
ball.
Hey, do you get that point, Make 4? If the moon did not rotate, if it did not spin as it moved around the Earth, we would see all sides of it.
Yep.
But you only see one side, so quit telling that lie. You only see
Well,
one
no, that
side
means
of the
it
moon.
does rotate. David, that means it does rotate. It means it rotates at the exact same rate that it moves
Has
around
anybody ever
us.
seen another side of the
So
ball?
one day,
Anybody ever seen another side of the moon?
David, one
No,
day
they
on
have
the
not,
moon
sir.
takes a month. One day on the moon takes a month.
Has anybody seen the dark side of the moon besides Ozzy? Huh?
Well, the dark side of the moon is a bad way to say it. It's a colloquialism because it's not
Yeah, that was
always
definitely
dark.
Pink Floyd.
What does Ozzy have to do with the dark side of the moon?
Just going to turn you down just to say a quick hello to Jamie Woodstock and let you guys know that we've got about 10 minutes left. David, they can't hear you. So yeah, hi David. Hi Jamie, sorry.
Hello Jamie.
Hello. How you going, guys?
Hey Jamie.
Jamie.
Getting pretty heated and interesting today.
Yeah. Fun.
I was going to say,
David's on the ropes. Sorry.
The moon, though, the moon rotates. Like when you look at the moon, it like its face turns, like doesn't it? Like as though it had a perpendicular equator to us, kind of thing.
That's not anything due to any motion of the moon itself.
Yeah, that has to do with the inclination of its orbit.
The oceans are making it spin, man. Their story is the oceans are making it spin. Okay,
The shadow cast on the moon changes as its orientation to the sun changes. So it does seem like it's moving that way, but it's
just
not.
a shadow moving.
Yeah, it's a shadow moving.
The shadow remains
You're telling me
constant.
the moon actually
off the surface of the moon. The moon is not actually rotating that way. This is field rotation, and it's caused and will vary by your latitude upon the Earth.
Okay, in case you hadn't figured out already, we have a little under 10 minutes left on this live stream, so I'll run through my links. I will give you one last shout out at the end of the show, and thank you for being here. But in the meantime, if you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show. Big massive shout out to Shill Scanner and Scooby-Doo for doing exactly that. And if you would like to join the panel, there is a link below all of these videos to join the panel. So be sure to mute your watch page if you are to join to do some last minute trolling on this particular stream, and then click that link to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. One last time, if you've not shared the show already, I'd be very, very grateful if you would share the show on social media. So one last time, I'll hand you back to the action, and as I say, I will come back just to round out the show, and thank you all for being here.
Side that isn't facing the Earth,
right,
because it's rotating so slowly.
Right, but this goes back to the old sidereal day thing about something rotating around something, and if that face is always facing us, we're the center now.
The sidereal day is going to be longer, isn't it? It's going to be a month.
No,
How about if there's a full moon out?
I'm going more for the point of that these rotations, if that rotation of the moon is actually so slow that its same face always faces us, and then it's got those other little turny things on it that Curved Earth was trying to tell me about. But like that means that it's at a very slow rotation now, and in the future it could. Well, I feel like rotations could speed up. That's all. How does the moon not do a full 360
What do you refer to as rotation then? What are you referring to as rotation?
Spinning on an axis.
Okay, what about sunlight then? How much sunlight you get
to the moon?
Because that's all perspective, and that all depends on where you are.
Sorry, are you talking about the light that reflects off the moon?
No, the light that you receive. So like you could have a short day. You know, like because it's winter right now.
Well, that's how much we rotate in.
But you're obviously on the down there in Australia or whatever, so it's going to be longer, right? Because you're in summer.
Yeah, which is weird. We gain about 3 hours or 4 hours of light down here. It's kind of weird. That trips me out.
Especially if you try and do it on a flat Earth,
normal.
Then you'll be really weirded out.
That's a normal side effect.
Of what, flat Earth?
Being tripped out.
Basically, the other thing is I am in like southeastern Australia, like Canberra.
It doesn't matter where you are; it's Australia.
You got to remember. you got to remember just all on the other side of the ball from the United States and South America, North America and South America. There's nothing but water. Okay, the sun supposedly covers that water and comes all the way back around to Japan and all that. So,
but David, you're in Texas. No one cares. All right, we're talking about Australia right now. We're not talking about Texas. So,
yeah, where's Australia at from Texas? Do you actually really know where you're at?
It's on the other side. It's like on the other side of the ball.
Do you know where it's at on the flat map, David?
That's what I'm. Maybe we need to talk to him to figure out. Hey, do you have a compass there? They were saying
I don't need a compass, David.
The other
I
day
just
they
have
were
the
saying
feet of the
compasses don't work in
dodo.
Australia. Are you from Australia?
Yeah,
Huh?
what?
Are you from Australia?
I don't know, David. You're just on the body of the dodo. We just look at the feet of the dodo. We're in Australia.
Who on here said they were from Australia? Huh?
Me.
Does a compass work in Australia?
Yeah, we were taught in school that you have to take a bit off for that magnetic and true north sort of thing.
How much? How much?
I can't remember, but it was a fair amount. Well,
maybe before you come in here arguing, you ought to know where north is in your own country, man.
I didn't actually swear.
Okay.
Didn't actually come
No, you didn't. You just laughed, I think.
I was just talking about the rotation of the moon. That's all, and it always faces us, and it does look a bit flat. To be honest,
you don't even know where north is to know where the moon's at.
Bro, north is at Chile, and if you go to Chile,
you don't like it when somebody calls you out on that. But it's true. It's like in Texas. I want to know where straight north is when I walk out my front door. I don't get lost. Okay.
It's at the North Pole.
You just follow the road signs.
You can't measure the position of the moon. It can only be calculated.
See, all we have to do is figure out where Australia is, and we'll know what the flat map is. Okay. Because the problem is we don't have a map of the 7 continents as it is. Okay. So all these stories you tell, none of them true.
Come on, man. You really think all those sailors and stuff, sailing around the edges of countries? Come on, man.
Come on, man. You're the feet of the dodo.
You don't know the size of the continents, man.
But we do.
They were just sitting on here saying the Earth is 70% water. Okay.
No.
How much time does that sun travel across water that nobody ever sees it?
Okay, so do you know?
Who knows the answer to that? Answer that question. How many hours a day? How many hours in 24 hours does no one on Earth see the sun because it's over water?
David, do you know the answer to that?
Huh? You guys don't know anything.
But David, do you know the answer to that question?
There is.
It's one of those questions that people ask that they don't know the answer to themselves.
Whoa, David, repeat that question, please.
No, let's not go there. Seriously, don't.
Please, can you repeat that question?
Hours a day. How many hours a day does the sun cover ocean that nobody sees it?
You think that there is a time at
During
all
the day that nobody sees the sun
on the surface of the earth?
Okay, then there's got to be something north. There's got to be something on the other side of the ball for North America. Then, okay. What's on the other side of North America? If I go
finally getting through today.
If I go north over the North Pole, straight out of Chicago, and I head due north, and the compass flips back north when I'm headed south, what landmass am I going to hit?
David, you're gish-gimping now.
No,
are you trying to say?
Answer the question, man. You don't
David,
know.
Why do you think
don't know the answer? Ding ding, knockout. Nathan, we wrapped it up.
More than 3 questions.
We knocked him out in 52 too. Okay.
David, why do you think there's a moment in time where no one on Earth can see the sun? Why do you think there's a period of time, and you're asking how many hours?
The sun just disappears, man.
No, they're not. Y'all tell me there's nothing. You told me there was nothing on the other side of the ball from North and South America. That it was nothing but water.
What are you talking about? You said that.
If I leave out of Dallas and I fly over the North Pole, right? If I go straight north until the compass flips, what landmass am I going to hit?
Greenland.
I'm still saying the compass is not going to flip if you're flying over
Greenland. Greenland's out there above New York. I'm talking about
Canada,
the center
Greenland.
of America.
David,
what?
This is your answer,
you don't even know how a compass works.
Greenland.
Canada, Greenland, Russia.
Greenland, and we've never met. Have you ever met anybody from Greenland?
See that 3 jabs to the face there, David.
Does it really matter?
Have you ever met anybody from Greenland?
Does it matter?
What, are you saying they're not real?
Who's the president of Greenland?
Do you believe that people in Greenland?
And with that, first and foremost, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to the live audience for joining us for this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the panel for making this debate possible. Be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.